Welcome to MTN Outdoors.
If you've gotten outside at all and looked around, it becomes pretty clear that change is in the air. In Montana and across the U.S., warmer than usual temperatures have pushed well into October. And we know in Montana, if you blink, you just might miss fall. But one look around and you can see that those aspen trees are standing out amongst the prevailing pines. If you've been a loyal viewer of MTN Outdoors, you've been lucky enough to tag along with MTN's John Riley, a great host and a great friend. But like these changing leaves, change is on the way to MTN Outdoors that I know you'll like. For now, I'm your new host, Keith Grevenitz, and I've got some big plans for this show. First up, Chief Meteorologist at KTVH and my brother, Curtis Grevenitz, is going to teach you something you didn't know about Aurora Borealis. And then we'll move right into those imminent seasonal changes and how to deal with them. Let's dive in.
What a show lately. The Aurora has been strong and colorful. Charged particles from the sun strike Earth's atmosphere and its gases, energizing the gas particles that ultimately release light energy. The color of that light depends on the energy released by the specific gas atoms and molecules. Earth's atmosphere mainly contains nitrogen and oxygen, so these are the key players in producing aurora colors. Vivid lime green is the most common color of the aurora, coming from single oxygen atoms colliding with lower energy electrons released by excited nitrogen molecules. These gases and thus color occur between 60 and 180 miles above the Earth's surface. Red light at the top of the aurora comes from single atomic oxygen. This usually occurs at heights greater than 180 miles above the Earth's surface. Blue and violet occur at 180 miles or higher as hydrogen and helium gas gets energized by the solar particles. These colors are rare because these gases are uncommon in the atmosphere. If you missed the light show recently, do not fear about missing out. The solar maximum is expected next year, so there should be more activity and opportunity for future light shows very soon. And now, you're a little more weather-wise.
Fall foliage is beautiful when it's on the trees, but what do you do with it after it's fallen? Places like the city of Helena transfer station and their street sweepers are helping combat this issue and confusion. Leaves that fall into your own yard are your responsibility. Residents who don't compost leaves themselves should bag them up and dispose of them at the transfer station.
When residents bring their leaves to the transfer station, they are hauled out to the landfill and mixed in with our compost piles that we have out there. You can bring them here, just please don't leave them in bags.
Residents should also remove sticks or branches, and piles at the station are labeled and separated. Leaves that fall along the sidewalk and or the boulevard are the responsibility of the city and can be moved to the street.
But anything on your side of the sidewalk, you should be raking and bagging up and taking for disposal. Anything in what we call the boulevard, and so that would be that little section between the sidewalk and the street. It's okay if those leaves are put kind of, I would say, gently into where the gutter area is, and we can come by and sweep those up.
Leaves may not seem like they weigh much, but statistics from the transfer station tell a different story.
It's around maybe 1,000 tons a year that we do, and then we do 5,000 tons total of yard waste that gets composted.
Because of the density of leaves, the city says they should not be put in dumpsters, as they are often shared between neighbors, and leaves can fill them up quickly. The city is divided up into 3 zones, with the street leaf collection starting on the west side of the city next week. Helena has a fleet of about 8 sweepers, and their primary goal is safety and preparing for winter.
They'll be out running their routes throughout the city, and so their job really is to try and get all of those leaves as they start to come down this time of year, and get the roads cleaned up for winter.
This method prevents debris from building up in snow piles. Leaf collection runs through December. Reporting in Helena, Madeline Heath, MTN News.
Montana allows snow tires starting October 1st, but with no snow and warmer weather, have Montanans made the switch?
We've had people for the last 3 or 4 weeks calling to schedule their appointments.
Hugh Wilson is the store manager for downtown Helena's Gills Point S Tire. He says they have already put snow tires on about a dozen vehicles.
People like getting ahead of the rush. We do kind of explain to them that, it is still beautiful, kind of summerish weather out there, but they don't like the rush and want to make sure they get them done before the big storm hits.
But with temperatures well above freezing for most of this week, Wilson says people may want to hold off a bit longer before getting their winter tires on.
Above 45 degrees, you're going to ruin those winter tires. Below 45 degrees is optimal when it's consistent.
Wilson says snow tires are made from a different rubber compound than normal tires, and in temperatures above 45 degrees, they will deteriorate faster.
You'll actually lose about 15% of your steering and handling of the vehicle running winter tires in warmer weather.
The Montana Department of Transportation says studded tires can be used in Montana from October 1st to May 31st, and they are 218% more effective than conventional tires. So Wilson recommends keeping an eye on the forecast and said traditionally, most people try to get their winter tires on the week of Halloween. In Helena, I'm Allie Kaiser, MTN News.
You're watching MTN Outdoors. We'll be right back.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Wow, would you look at that? It's beautiful. That's why we're here, right? All of this? Well, a betting man would tell you that the one thing that you can count on in this life is change. And on this earth, part of that cycle of life and that system of change and renewal is fire. But as people, we need to prevent man-made fires from coming and ravaging these beautiful resources. Let's find out what the Forest Service around Montana is doing to protect places like this.
I'm here in the studio right now with the Bozeman weather cam, and as you can see, this is the view from MSU. And up at Highlight, there is a lot of smoke right now, and actually, the smoke has been planned, so there's no need to call it in.
So the Custer Gallatin has some fire crews out here today, and we are implementing a prescribed burn. It's 119 acres, and it is a part of the Bozeman Municipal Watershed Project.
Forest Service employee Morgan DeMeyer explains it's a cooperative effort between the city of Bozeman and the Custer Gallatin National Forest. DeMeyer says prescribed burns are an important part of managing the area.
Reducing the likelihood of a high severity wildfire while also protecting our water supply. And 80% of Bozeman's water supply does come from the Bozeman and Highlight Creek drainage.
Prescribing fire may sound like medication, and DeMeyer says it's just what the forest needs.
We are the ones putting fire on the ground. We are in control, to avoid those hotter months when we are not the ones who put fire on the ground and it's not fully controlled.
However, it's not as simple as striking a match and waiting for flames.
So we go through a lot of planning, a lot of checks, and just to make sure that goes as smoothly as possible.
DeMeyer talks with other Forest Service employees on the radio as she points out affected areas on the map. The Langor area will be closed to the public for a couple days and smoke may linger. DeMeyer is happy to play a part in the big picture.
Our national forests are really important to people. They're important to me, they're important to a lot of people. Everyone sort of finds like their own solace in it, and to be able to contribute and protect part of that for our future generations and now, we can't beat it.
Up Highlight, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
I'm walking on a trail that's managed by the United States Forest Service, but the Forest Service doesn't just take care of things like trails. They also manage fire crews, avalanche forecasting, wilderness rangers, and your weekend campground. But with changes to their budget for this upcoming year, you might see a shift in how you recreate.
It's undescribable, really, just the exposure to the elements like that and being kind of totally self-dependent.
For Conrad Scheid, his first hitch on a trail crew as a temporary seasonal employee was one to remember.
9 days in the Sully Bitter Wilderness. We went up Bad Luck Creek, clearing trail. It rained on us. We had a crew member who our crew leaders thought maybe she had appendicitis, but luckily it was just a tummy ache, but we had to hike her out, and then we had another 4 days.
However, due to budgeting, starting in 2025, the Forest Service will not hire temporary seasonal employees unless they work in fire.
We had roughly 100 temporary seasonals hired across this region of the Forest Service. Next year, of course, that's what we're taking down to an anticipated number of 0.
The increase in wildfires over the past few years has made the Forest Service take a serious look at where their money goes.
Longer fire season, higher severity of fire, higher fire intensity, all of that leads us to needing to continue to prioritize funding that fire workforce and make sure we have enough workforce to meet our suppression responsibilities.
But those who have worked temporarily with the Forest Service note this national decision will have ripple effects.
I think these things are really interconnected. You know, if firefighters get a report of a fire somewhere and the trail's, not clear, it's going to take them that much more time to get in there and start getting to work on that fire.
While the budget for the Forest Service is still being finalized, they have added more permanent seasonal positions to their teams.
It's a different kind of appointment that provides stability for both the employee knowing they're going to return and get to work an additional season, and stability for us in managing for the resource and for the National Forest of knowing we have this returning workforce.
Still, though, the Forest Service is figuring out how these staffing changes will impact Western Montana specifically.
Obviously, this workforce is an important contributor to how we get work done, particularly in the recreation and trails world. And our ability to mitigate those is going to help make sure that local Missoulians and Montanans don't feel those impacts as we get into the next season.
The Forest Service is working to finalize exactly how certain areas will be impacted. In Missoula, Emily Brown, MTN News.
This may look like just a garden to most, but in fact, it's a rain garden that helps keep pollutants out of local water bodies, and it's part of an initiative that's spreading across the Flathead. A rain garden is a shallow depression that is landscaped with native plants. Rainwater is diverted from impervious surfaces, like concrete, to the garden so the plants can filter out any water pollutants before they reach local water bodies.
And we specifically do these programs for water quality because the native plants have really deep roots and they really help the water filter through slower.
Most rain gardens in the Flathead are at people's homes, but 2 new gardens were installed this summer at the Flathead Fairgrounds and Habitat for Humanity.
So we've had a residential rain garden program, and so these rain gardens get built in people's yards, and we really want there to be places that community members can drive up to and see what a rain garden looks like without having to bother the community members that put the gardens in.
Working with the Flathead Conservation District and Western Montana Conservation Commission, Habitat for Humanity installed the rain garden to help filter the water that comes from their parking lot.
It's just a really cool way to have something that's pretty and practical. It's obviously more beautiful than a pit, and it's going to be helpful to the environment and helpful for Flathead Lake and keeping our water clean.
The Flathead Rain Garden Initiative through the Flathead Conservation District is starting to gain traction with around 20 rain gardens in the Flathead. These native plants help filter water and also help support local pollinators and birds. Anyone who is interested can install a rain garden at their home or business.
And so this is a really good example of a community rain garden that anybody who's interested in maybe putting in a rain garden or looking at different options for stormwater management, they can come down here and take a look and see what the garden looks like.
You can go to our website to learn more about how to get started with your very own rain garden. In Kalispell, Kiana Wilson, MTN News.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Stay with us for more MTN Outdoors.
For 2 years since Yellowstone River flooding washed it away, the Carbella Bridge has been closed. But as of noon on Friday, the first cars were able to cross the new bridge. Arriving at the bridge, many cars were lined up on both ends, eagerly awaiting the opportunity to be the very first to cross.
I think it looks awesome. It's not just concrete on the sides like a lot of the new bridges. It's got the little trestle design, so to speak, and I think it looks really good.
The original design, built in 1918, was only 1 lane, and incapable of carrying heavy loads, but the new one is much improved. Superintendent at Battle Ridge Builders, Jack Moreau, tells me,
well, it's 2 lanes and it is rated for capacity. The old bridge was derated, so people had to take the detour if they had any heavy loads.
Emigrant resident Bert Otis says anybody who lived across the bridge has spent the last 2 years taking a long detour from the old Yellowstone Trail.
It adds about 4 miles of gravel to their journey, and most of the time our county roads are not real smooth.
As a board member for Paradise Valley's fire district, Bert says the bridge allows first responders to reach residents faster.
And we've never been able to cross this with our big rigs. Even the old bridge you couldn't. So now we're going to be able to. So our response time to come down here is going to be greatly improved.
Yeah, this is definitely the coolest project I've gotten to complete so far. The structure is beautiful. I'm glad we got to go with the truss bridge.
And despite a few bumps in construction, crews finished the bridge a month ahead of schedule.
I'm glad these people get their bridge back. So.
In Carbella, Heaven Van, MTN News.
Over 200 years ago, this barn behind me was built in Ohio. Now in 2024, it's being reconstructed on the banks of the river here in Cascade.
She started looking and finding barns, so being an airline pilot, I could travel around. So I started traveling around the country looking for timber frames, and that's where we met Joe, and old barns.
I enjoy saving the history of the barns. I mean, this barn was cut by hand before there was any power tools 200 years ago.
Back in the day, something like this would be considered not low end, but one of the lower ends of the craftsman because it's pretty rough hand hewn, but that was the look we were looking for.
Motivations of home builders can differ, but this barn was the result of a specific set of choices.
Well, a lot of times they're looking for a timbered home, and these timbers are original growth timbers. You know, it's part of our original heritage.
Reusing the beams has multiple purposes.
It's green. We're reusing it instead of throwing it in landfill or burning it. Plus we're saving history. The original part of this barn, the bottom part up to these top tie beams is original. Everything above that has been custom cut and fit and built to build this home out of.
So we modified, we cut one of the bays off and went with this.
Despite the changes to the structure, the spirit stays the same.
The peg, it has step chines, mortise and tenon, and just the joinery was really beautiful. So that's why we went with this one. We have no intent of selling it. It's going to go to our kids. And the one thing I want to say is people see this and they think we're some rich people from out of state moving in to build. And we're a military family. I did 25 years in the military. I flew airplanes, and then I just retired from the airlines. And she raised the kids, and we've literally saved for 30-something years. And we're building this ourselves to save whatever money we can. So we love it. We hope to put up a huge American flag and welcome all the veterans in to stop by, have a picnic, and enjoy our piece of heaven.
In Cascade, I'm James Rowland, MTN News.
Ask just about anyone in Butte who uses this walking trail, and they'll have a story about encounters with aggressive stray dogs. Well, one Butte resident recently had a very frightening experience with stray dogs, and she wants the city to do something about it.
It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying, to see someone cornered by 2 dogs and not able to get away.
On October 6th, Janie Payne took her relatives on the walking trail near the Mountain Con mine, and 2 loose dogs began harassing her cousin in an aggressive manner.
Just, jumping around her. So if she went to move this way, they jumped that way. If she went to move this way, they jumped that way.
Another walker on the trail was able to distract the dogs, and the woman got away. However, one dog did end up biting her pant leg. Payne said this has been an ongoing problem on the trail.
This isn't right, and if the dog owner isn't going to follow the ordinance, the law of the land, then he can't keep the dogs.
After receiving a written complaint from Payne, Butte Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher held a meeting with law enforcement and animal control to address this issue. Gallagher said the owner of the dogs involved in this incident has been cited. Gallagher added that the public should always report aggressive dogs running loose.
They cannot be running without a leash. The owner is responsible for the action of the dog. So if a dog harasses or intimidates or bites a person, they are responsible for the actions of that animal.
Many say this problem has been going on for too long.
It's not a dog problem, it's a people problem, right? And we have a few individuals who are not responsible dog owners, and then when the county doesn't hold them accountable, that's when it really becomes an issue.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
So here at MTN Outdoors, we're asking you to come take a ride with us. It is pet friendly. That's my guy Brighton. He's 5 months old and he goes just about everywhere with me. You're gonna love him. We'll have boots on the ground in the most awe-inspiring places in the state. The views will make you feel truly alive. Look at that. I'm pretty sure everything happens for a reason. We'll have special guests and get into all the action in remote places of Montana. Everyone is invited. We may even show you some places where you can get a really good bite to eat. That's it for this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. I'm your host, Keith Grevenitz. We'll see you next time.